Why are you sitting in a drive-through at 6 p.m, stress eating a burger before you go home to a second dinner? You're running a multi-million pound construction scheme. You're dealing with delayed materials, program slippage, subbies arguing, clients pushing. You're earning mid-50s, maybe touching 60. On paper, you've made it. So why does it still feel tight? If you're a site manager, QS, project lead here in the UK, and your salary looks decent but your life feels squeezed, this video is for you. Because what's draining you isn't the job, it's something I call the noble trap. And I've watched good men fall into it quietly but frequently. If we haven't met before, I'm Chris. I've spent years in construction and property. I've built assets alongside working full-time. And I've seen how easy it is to build the right life in the wrong order. This isn't about get rich quick. It's not about quitting work tomorrow. It's about control. And I wish someone had explained this to me properly in my early 30s. Let me tell you about someone I know. Let's call him Dave. Top site manager, solid bloke. He regularly works 12-hour shifts. He is battling quality issues, subbies shouting, procurement delays, the usual chaos on a daily basis. He and his wife bought a big renovation project in a good postcode to call home. Not for status, not for Instagram, for his future child. However, the child wasn't even conceived yet. Dave bought a 2030 problem in 2024. Big mortgage, big renovation costs, new roof, damp issues, structural surprises, every spare pound into bricks. On paper, this looks responsible and family-oriented, doing the right thing. In reality, he left himself with no buffer or surplus, and that's the part no one talks about, because once the house drains the account, the day job can't wobble. When the site goes wrong, he can't mentally detach. When a director pushes late instructions, he can't say no. When another £50,000 variation lands on his desk, he carries it home. Not because he's weak, but because he has no room in his head. You wouldn't price a job with zero contingency. You wouldn't run a scheme on zero net margin. So why are you running your household like a bad project? And here's what really happens. When the personal overhead is heavy, stress increases. When stress increases, you compensate to relieve the emotional torture. Convenience food, extra coffees, better holidays because I deserve it. Amazon clicks late at night. He's not buying Ferraris, he's buying relief. And relief spending is invisible inflation. So now he's running a high personal turnover life, massive fixed overhead, huge operating stress, zero retained profit. That's why £60,000 feels like £30,000, not because it's low, because it's already allocated before he wakes up. Let's make this simple. Mistake number 1, building future lifestyle before building present surplus. Everyone wants the forever house, but no one asks, can my current life carry this without strain? You're trying to build the school catchment area before you've built surplus. That's backwards. Mistake number 2, confusing responsibility with overextension. Providing for a future family is noble, but suffocating your present self isn't. If your mortgage forces you into permanent yes mode at work, you don't own the house. The house owns your options, and options are the real currency. I started saying no a lot more when I knew I was financially solid. It didn't matter if someone told me to disappear. That's the power of options built from surplus. Mistake number 3, running your personal life with no net margin. You understand margin at work. You price risk. You manage contingencies. You expect surprises. But at home, you run it tight. Payday comes in. Mortgage, council tax, utilities, car finance, insurance, gym, subscriptions. Before you've even thought, the month is committed, and now the job must not wobble. That's not security, that's exposure. Now let's be clear, this isn't don't buy a house, it's don't buy one that removes your margin. I've rented while building assets. I've rented while owning property elsewhere. I've never maxed myself on a personal home because I wanted control first. I know of a very successful entrepreneur who lived on a canal boat for a year. Not because he had to, because he wanted his living costs under £750 a month. He lowered his overhead so he could grow. Today he lives in a manor. Sequence matters. Surplus first, mission second. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't feel stressed because your salary is low. You feel stressed because your overhead is high. And when overhead is high, you can't think long term. You can't invest calmly. You can't negotiate boldly. You can't say no. You just survive. So here's what I want you to ask yourself tonight. If your project folded tomorrow, if your firm restructured, if you needed to walk away from a toxic director, could you? Or would the mortgage make the decision for you? That's the real test. And here's the shift. Stop trying to build the perfect 5-year life. Build surplus in the life you have now. Lower fixed overhead, increase retained margin, build buffer, build optionality. Then buy the house, then move postcode, then stretch. When you do it in that order, it feels calm. When you reverse it, it feels tight. If you're watching this thinking, I earn decent money but it still feels thin, that's not a character flaw, it's a surplus issue. And if you're wondering whether buying early is even the right move in the first place, especially in the UK market right now, watch the rent versus buy breakdown next. That's the maths. This video was the psychology, because the trap isn't debt, it's sequence. And once you fix sequence, £60,000 starts to feel like £60,000 again. Let's build it properly.